But if you contest, because service to man is service to God. Certainly, again, I am elated that we have started back party school in the PNM, and the PNM being the only political party, as far as I'm concerned, in Trinidad and Tobago, with a perfect organizational structure. We abide by the constitution of the PNM. And I know that Jelani will follow in the footsteps of Mr. Overan Padmore and do this political organization justice. It's time that we go back to our beginnings and teach political education. And I want to congratulate you, everyone. I want to welcome you to the city of San Fernando, and I hope you enjoy your stay here today. Thank you immensely.
Thank you, Mayor Paris, for the insights shared. Up next, we welcome Mr. Alvin Mohammed, Chairman of the San Fernando West constituency. Mr. Mohammed is a committed businessman and a dedicated political servant with over 3 decades of involvement in national politics. His long-standing contribution to community development and party leadership has earned him deep respect across the People's National Movement. He has held several key roles within the party, beginning as a party group chairman and later serving as an education officer, vice chairman, and now chairman of the San Fernando West constituency. His influence extends nationally as a member of both the PNM General Council and the Central Executive. We now invite Mr. Alvin Mohammed, Chairman of the San Fernando West constituency.
Islands in the sun, islands in the fun. Welcome, welcome one and all to the land of death. Trinity to the...
Thank you very much, my PNM family. Good evening to all. His Worship, the Mayor of the City of San Fernando, Councillor Robert Paris, our political leader of the People's National Movement, the Honorable Penelope Beckles Robinson, all other protocols observed. Good evening to our distinguished guests, members of the People's National Movement, dedicated party group members, and especially the young people gathered here today. It is truly an honor to bring greetings on this historic occasion in the relaunch of Dr. Eric Williams Institute for Political Education. I bring greetings on behalf of both the San Fernando West and San Fernando East constituencies, united in purpose and committed to the continued strengthening of our great party, the People's National Movement. This afternoon, we reflect on the legacy of the father of the nation, Dr. Eric Williams, a man whose intellect, courage, and unwavering belief in the power of education transformed the political landscape of Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Williams once reminded us, the future of our nation is in our children's school bags. Today, we extend that wisdom beyond the classroom, recognizing that their future also lies in their political awareness, their civic engagement, and their readiness to lead. The reopening of this institute is not just a ceremony. It is recommitment to the foundation upon which the party was built: education, empowerment, and service. Dr. Williams envisioned a politically educated citizenry capable of shaping their own destiny. It is now our responsibility to ensure that this vision strives in every community, in every constituency, and especially in the hearts of our young people here today. As chairman of the San Fernando West constituency, our mission is clear. We are focused on empowering the youths, giving them the tools, the training, and the opportunities to rise to leadership within the People's National Movement and Trinidad and Tobago. We recognize that political education is not optional, it is essential. It is how we build resilience, strengthen our democracy, and secure the continuity of our movement. In San Fernando West, and alongside our brothers and sisters in San Fernando East, we are re-engineering our approach. We are reopening more party groups, expanding our reach, creating new spaces for young minds to contribute innovative and participate meaningfully. This relaunch complements that effort. It breathes new life into our cadre of young leaders and future policy makers. On behalf of San Fernando West and San Fernando East constituencies, I extend heartfelt congratulations to the organizers, instructors, and participants of this initiative. May this institute continue to shine as a beacon of wisdom, guidance, and national pride. Thank you, and may we move forward together, educated, empowered, and united in service. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Alvin. To officially bring welcome remarks, we call on Mr. Brian Manning, Member of Parliament for San Fernando East. Brian Manning is an accomplished international financial professional with experience spanning the region and global markets. A qualified financial data scientist, he has worked as an investment banker for major international institutions and has served as an international equity analysis and financial and business analysis within the multilateral system. He is currently completing his doctorate in quantitative finance and artificial intelligence, further strengthening his academic and professional expertise. Beyond his global career, Brian Manning is a devoted family man and a committed servant of the people. He previously served as the minister in the Ministry of Finance and now proudly represents the constituency of San Fernando East as its member of parliament. This evening, ladies and gentlemen, join me as we welcome our Honorable Mr. Brian Manning. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome one and all to the land of death. Trinity to the bone, Trinity to the bone. When they come to Bacchanal, well, they can't beat we at Trinity to the bone, Trinity to the bone.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here this afternoon. I really wanted to begin by welcoming all of you to San Fernando. I know many of you are here from the city, but I see many persons who would be from beyond our borders. So welcome. You know, every time I think about Eric Williams and what he stood for, he died when I was very young. I actually remember going to the parliament as a child to view his casket. I was extremely young, but I remember that vividly. And I always tell people, I've only seen two people in my life speak to my father in a harsh manner, to his face. One was Eric Williams, and the other was my recently departed Auntie Esther, who died recently at 103 years old. Auntie Esther used to call, she used to run the Sunday school at St. Paul's Anglican. So anytime my brother and I missed Sunday school, she would call the house fuming. Patrick, why those children wasn't in Sunday school today? Auntie Esther was tired, I came home late last night. And she used to say, Patrick, those children need Jesus. I don't know if she meant that in a good way or not. But she was right. But when I think about Eric Williams, I think about national development. And that is what he has always been about. Regardless of the distractions, it is what he always focused on. And if you think about it, if you really genuinely and objectively think about it, think of all the positive and major programs that have been developed in this country over the decades since independence. And they have all come from the People's National Movement. Every single one. From free education, from day one, Eric Williams was about educating our people to give us an opportunity to compete in the international space. And that very tenet of the People's National Movement has developed over the years from Eric Williams to George Chambers, Patrick Manning, and so on and so on and so on. I remember my father when he was developing Vision 2020, not the remix that these people come up with now, not the 2020 remix. And a major pillar was free education from ABC to PhD. Because that is what it was about. Eric Williams said the future of our country is in the school bags of our children. The People's National Movement has always been about education, and on that education has been the basis of our national development for many, many decades. Folks, I want to thank everyone here coming today so that we can all be educated and to be reminded in many cases what the People's National Movement is truly about and what Dr. Eric Williams truly stood for. He was about education and national development. And there's a lot for us to be grateful and thankful for. Do not let many of the detractors out there, because we're in opposition right now, try to make you feel badly about being members of this august party. The People's National Movement is still the greatest and strongest institution in all of CARICOM.
Welcome, welcome.
That cannot be denied, that cannot be forgotten. There are many who would like to make you believe that you should be ashamed and embarrassed. I would tell those people, take a good look at the things that have been done by this party and look at the things that we will do going forward. We are the People's National Movement, and we are proud and we are happy to enjoy our PNM education today. Thank you all very much for coming. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much to our Honorable Mr. Brian Manning. A little break and a little interlude. We present a performance rooted in legacy and cultural pride. Please welcome a son of San Fernando soil, a current University of the West Indies student, and a grandson of the legendary Black Stallion. This evening, I welcome Kivan Kalis performing the classic, "We Can Make It If We Try."
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Nice. I know everybody knows it, so you all can help me out, yeah? Come on, a little bit more volume on it. Yeah. So the treasury broke and they say that recession's jamming. And to foreign countries, people start migrating. They lose faith in the people, they say we go on down the drain. They say no more, shall we see happy times again. They say the will to recover in my people, I have confidence. Although many may seem to think that I talking nonsense, but majority of them for sure they going to run. But now is the time to show we patriotism. Why? As in my country facing its darkest hour, and our people need us today more than ever. But in our fight to recover, even though you feel to surrender, one little thing that I want you always remember. Sing it. We can make it if we just a little. Nice. If we just give one more, and again all your life will be much. You're something lovely. So we sit down and we analyze the problem, and we trying to find positive solutions to solve them. We get rid of all them people that they had walking, and there's a new set of people we bring in. Key requirements we need, they're not supplying. So when election come wrong, is new thing we bring in. But if it's one thing for sure, I can guarantee we will never put party above we country. Why? Make country facing it's, and our people lead us to be more than ever. But in our fight to recover, even though you feel to surrender, one little thing that I want you always remember. Sing it, we can make it if we just a little harder. Boy, if we just give one more, nice, life will be much sweeter. Hey. Can I give you all a special verse? Is that okay if I give you all a special verse? You want a special verse? I'll give you all a special verse. No problem, yeah? So right now, as I give you all this special verse, may all protocols be observed. And what I'm saying right now, pleasant good evening to everyone. It's good to see you all at this occasion. We come here to celebrate Dr. Eric Williams, Institute for Political Education. And moments like this, it does make me feel so pleased. Dr. Williams, may his soul rest in peace. As my country facing it's, and our people need us to be more than ever. But in our fight to recover, even though you feel to surrender, one little thing that I want you always remember. Sing it. We can make it if we just a little harder. If we just give one more, life will be much sweeter. Thank you.
I think we could do better than that for Mr. Police. Let's give him a round of applause again. Ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a privilege of mine to invite the next speaker, my constituency chairman, a young leader widely regarded as one of the most disciplined, dedicated, and visionary members of the People's National Movement. Dr. Jelani Isaac Reid is a lifelong PNM member with over 15 years of experience in political organizing and youth leadership. He currently serves as the chairman of the Trinity Maloney constituency, a member of the Central Executive, and one of the youngest voices shaping the modern direction of our movement. He has also served as the chairman of the Aruka Maloney constituency, the Aruka Maloney Youth League, PRO of the National Youth League, and a multi-term member of the General Council. Over the years, Dr. Reid has revitalized constituency structures, strengthened party machinery, and pioneered initiatives such as the Helping Hands program, Adopt a Family, youth leadership committees, town hall meetings, and the political education publication called The Educator. Beyond politics, Dr. Reid is a medical doctor, former president of JCI Port of Spain, president of the Aruka Community Council, and co-founder of the Blueprint podcast. Today, he leads the national effort to modernize political education as the PNM's education officer, guiding the development and the relaunch of the Dr. Eric Williams Institute for Political Education. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Jelani Isaac Reid.
Welcome, welcome, one and all to the land of death. Trinity to the bone, Trinity to the bone. When they come to Bacchanal, well, they can't beat we at Trinity to the bone, Trinity to the bone. Look, sweet woman, worried
PNM family, good afternoon. Sorry, I thought I was in a PNM auditorium. PNM people, good afternoon. So, distinguished guest of honor, the Honorable Penelope Beckles Robinson, Member of Parliament for Arima, and I believe her most important responsibility is that of being the political leader of the People's National Movement. Chairman of the PNM, Honorable Marvin Gonzalez, officers of the movement, constituency executive officers of San Fernando East, San Fernando West, Claxton Bay, and all others, His Worship the Mayor of San Fernando, Councillor Robert Paris, and I was about to say Honorable, but I have to say soon to be Honorable Dr. Brian Manning, Member of Parliament for the constituency of San Fernando East. Let's give him a round of applause. MPs, senators, distinguished invited guests, members of the People's National Movement, and most importantly on this occasion, members of the PNM's Education Committee. Let's give them a lusty round of applause. PNM people, good afternoon. This afternoon, we gather not just to launch an institution, we gather to correct a national illness, the illness of misinformation. And we gather to restore something sacred, the truth. We are living at a time when truth is under attack. A time when a lie can travel through Trinidad and Tobago before the truth even wakes up. A time when someone with a camera phone can rewrite decades of national history from the comfort of their living room and reach thousands of persons. And the most dangerous thing about misinformation is not the lie. It is the impact of the lie. Not long ago, a young man came to me and said, Doc, Dr. Eric Williams never built anything for Trinidad and Tobago. When I asked him who you learned that from, he said, TikTok. Imagine one 30-second video outweighed decades of leadership, scholarship, sacrifice, and achievement. And you know what's the other thing? Another young woman once told me she heard that the PNM never cared about education. She didn't hear that from a teacher or a historian, no. She heard it and read it on a meme. And this is the very country where the PNM has expanded secondary schooling, developed UWI, St. Augustine, COSTAT, University of Trinidad and Tobago, the NESC, and strengthened the entire modern educational landscape. And then we saw one of the most dangerous lies of all, when the UNC's public relations officer boldly told the nation that Dr. Eric Williams was not the first Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine that. A denial of a core national fact, a rewriting of history. And the frightening reality of this is that many young persons actually believe that. And because it is not true, but because it was said loudly and shared widely. Now, many may think that this is not harmless. They may think it is trivial. This is not politics as usual. Ladies and gentlemen of the PNM, this is very dangerous. Because when a generation starts believing lies about itself, that generation becomes lost. When a people forget their history, they become vulnerable. And when a movement forgets its purpose, it becomes weak. This is why we gather here today. This afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, we reclaim the narrative. We defend our history. We restore intellectual discipline within the People's National Movement. Dr. Eric Williams understood that long before the era of social media. He warned us that the future of our nation is in the book bags of our children. He insisted that political education was not optional, it was essential. He built the party school because he knew that a serious movement must be an educated movement, and an educated movement becomes a disciplined one. And that discipline was built in the PNM. Dr. Williams provided the intellectual blueprint of our nation, constitutionally, educationally, economically. George Chambers carried the nation with humility, honesty, and steadiness. Patrick Augustus Mervyn Manning modernized Trinidad and Tobago and expanded the architecture of the 21st century nation. Dr. Keith Rowley defended our institutions during global storms and preserved our democracy with courage. And ladies and gentlemen, today, under the dynamic leadership of our political leader, Honorable Penelope Beckles Robinson, a woman from the community of San Fernando, who rose studying by a candlelight in San Fernando to become an attorney at law, an ambassador, a minister, and now political leader of the People's National Movement. And I stand here today, not as someone from privilege, but as son of Aruka, someone shaped by education, someone shaped by community and discipline, someone who did not always understand politics, but who learned it, studied it, and grew up within it. Political education matters, not just for leaders, but for citizens, not just for elections, but the future of our republic. And political education is not just a tradition of the PNM. It is our constitutional duty. The PNM's constitution states that our movement exists to promote political, social, and economic education among its members and the national community. It directs us to train our members for effective participation in political life of our country, and it commands us to preserve and defend the democratic institutions of Trinidad and Tobago. This afternoon, with the launch of this institute, we fulfill that constitutional mandate. So the question now lies, what exactly is the Dr. Eric Williams Institute for Political Education? Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, it is not a ceremony. It is not a classroom. It is not a website. It is an institution built to outlast all of us. It is the rebirth of the party school envisioned by Dr. Williams. It is the intellectual engine of the movement. It is the guardian of our history. It is the future of political learning in the PNM. So this institute will transform how the PNM educates its members. It will modernize political learning through a dedicated PNM website, PNM Education Committee website, a digital curriculum, online learning platforms, self-paced modules, interactive quizzes and assessments, virtual town hall meetings and webinars, a PNM AI chatbot, to answer all of your questions on constitutional party history and policy decisions and national matters, a digital library of speeches, manifestos, documents, and archives. Ladies and gentlemen, your education committee is working. And what is most interesting, and what your committee understands, political leader, is that modernization is not a replacement for tradition. What we encourage ourselves to do is that we will strengthen our traditional and time-tested formats. So there will also be lectures, there will be seminars, workshops, party group training, constituency education sessions, reading circles, political history classes, in-person leadership programs. Together, the modern and the traditional will work hand in hand. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what our institute intends to do is that it will teach our people how to think politically, not what to think. It will teach our members how to lead, not how to follow. It will ensure that the next generation of PNM leaders is grounded not in vibes, but in truth, discipline, and knowledge. This institute belongs to every part of the movement: the Youth League, the Women's League, the party groups, the constituencies, the youth, the elders, the veteran officers, and of course, our new members. One PNM. And now, as we prepare to launch this new era, let us close with this. Dr. Williams did not build a party. He built a responsibility. George Chambers did not govern for praise. He governed to stabilize the nation. Patrick Manning did not modernize the country for applause. He modernized it for our future. Dr. Rowley did not defend institutions because it was popular. He defended them because it was right. And ladies and gentlemen, now our political leader, Penelope Beckles Robinson, leads us into this new era, an era that demands discipline, education, and vision. This afternoon, the PNM reclaims its role as the educator of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. This afternoon, we in the PNM, we secure our legacy. This afternoon, we build an institution that will outlive us. May God bless the Dr. Eric Williams Institute for Political Education. May God bless the People's National Movement. May God bless the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And as we know that song that clarion song that has taken us in the ups and the downs, that clarion call that has called us to order, and that clarion call that has charged us to take us into battle. Great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and oh, shall we prevail. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jelani Reid, our Education Officer. To introduce our political leader, we invite Madam Assistant General Secretary, Chairman of San Fernando East, and Deputy Mayor of San Fernando, Patricia Alexis.
Good afternoon. Please permit me to stand on the protocols already established. Today marks an important moment in the continued development of our great party, the relaunch of our party school. This institution represents our commitment to excellence, to disciplined political education, and to preparing the next generation of leaders who will uphold the principles, values, and vision of the People's National Movement. It is therefore fitting that our keynote speaker this afternoon is someone whose journey reflects the very qualities we seek to instill through this institution: dedication, humility, discipline, and distinguished public service. She was raised in the village of Bonave, and while her formative years reflect the richness of southern Trinidad, wink wink, her leadership and service has always embraced the entire nation. Her professional and political record is one of exceptional breadth and accomplishment. Attorney at law, former councillor for Arima Northeast, former opposition senator, Trinidad and Tobago's first female deputy speaker of the parliament, former diplomat, former minister of government. Through her career, she has been recognized for her quiet authority, her collaborative leadership, her unwavering fairness, and her deep compassion, especially in her steady, often silent support of the vulnerable. Under her leadership, our party has experienced renewed unity, strengthened purpose, and a restored sense of confidence in our future. And as we relaunch our party school, an institution dedicated to nurturing informed, principled, and service-minded leaders, her example stands as an embodiment of the values we aim to pass on. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and join me in welcoming the Member of Parliament for Arima, our current opposition leader, our next Prime Minister, the political leader of the People's National Movement, the Honorable Penelope Althea Beckles Robinson.
Welcome, welcome, one and all to the land of death. Trinity to the bone, Trinity to the bone. When they come to Bacchanal, well, they can't beat we at Trinity to the bone, Trinity to the bone. Look, sweet woman parade abundantly. The brethren, they full of energy. Some people say God is a Trinity. Paradise are not convincingly. God gave us a spirit fiery.
His Worship, the Mayor of the City of San Fernando, Councillor Robert Paris, Deputy Mayor, Councillors, the Honorable Brian Manning, Member of Parliament for San Fernando East, and let me specially acknowledge his mom, his mother, the former Minister of Education, the Honorable Hazel Manning. Very nice to see you. Thank you for coming. Our party chairman, the Honorable Marvin Gonzalez, and all other members of the leadership and executive of the People's National Movement, deputy political leaders. Let me also acknowledge my own parliamentary colleagues who are here. Thank you very much for making the extra effort to attend. Mr. Alvin Mohammed, Chairman of the San Fernando West constituency, and all other members of the San Fernando Executive and constituencies, both of San Fernando East as well as San Fernando West. The Lady Vice Chairman of the People's National Movement, the Honorable Nayan Gadsby Dolly, and all other members of the Women's League and Youth League. Special acknowledgement, of course, to Chairman of the Education Committee, Dr. Jelani Reed, and all other members of the Education Committee. And let me ask you specifically to give them a round of applause for this excellent initiative. Let me acknowledge members of the listening and viewing audience, and of course, special thanks to all of you who are here in your numbers for what is a very historic occasion for the People's National Movement. It is an honor to stand before you today in the city of San Fernando at a defining moment in our party's journey and in the life of our nation. We gather not merely to celebrate where we have come from, but to renew our commitment to where we must go. Today, we do that through the relaunch of the Dr. Eric Williams Institute for Political Education, reaffirming the foundation on which this movement was built, education. When the People's National Movement was founded, it was not just a political party, it was a revolution of thought, a cultural awakening, a movement, an educational uprising that reshaped the identity, intellect, and aspirations of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. At the center of that revolution stood Dr. Eric Eustace Williams, scholar, historian, intellectual, statesman, nation builder, architect of the independent Trinidad and Tobago. Dr. Eric Williams did not mobilize people through emotion alone. He mobilized them through knowledge. He understood that a people cannot truly be free until they are educated. He often reminded us, as the chairman of San Fernando West, I believe, said, that the future of our nation is in our children's school bags. That was not a mere statement. It was a principle, a blueprint for nation building, a call to action for every parent, every teacher, and every leader. It encapsulated his unwavering belief that a nation's destiny is determined by the education of its youth. Before he launched a political party, Dr. Williams built his foundation in education. He taught at Howard University as an assistant and later associate professor of social and political science from 1939 to 1946. While there, he was a popular lecturer developing courses in social sciences, race, and society while working on his doctoral thesis. This work would later become the groundbreaking book, Capitalism and Slavery, which reshaped how historians understood the economic and social foundations of the Atlantic slave trade. During his tenure at Howard, he wrote extensively and became a beacon of international rigor and critical thought. In 1948, he departed Howard to head the research branch of the Caribbean Commission, bringing his scholarship back to the region he would one day lead. Dr. Williams' books, including Capitalism and Slavery, The History of the People of Trinidad and Tobago, serve as enduring guides combining scholarship, historical insight, and most important, visionary leadership. Today we honor that intellectual legacy as the very foundation of this institute. Before he launched a political party, he launched a lecture series at the University of Woodford Square. He did not begin with rallies. He began with teaching. He began with books, with ideas, with political literacy, with national awakening. He taught a nation how to think before asking us how to vote. Today we return to that model, recognizing that nurturing the minds of our children is not only an investment in education, but a strategic imperative for leadership, governance, and national service. I wish to extend heartfelt congratulations to the Education Committee and its chair, Dr. Jelani Reid. Dr. Reid is not merely affiliated with this movement. He is a product of it, a son of the P&M tradition, shaped by scholarship policies instituted by the party, and now emerging as one of the intellectual architects of our future. His proposal for this institute is not symbolic, it is rigorous, strategic. constitutionally grounded and aligned with the educational philosophy as envisioned by Dr. Eric Eustace Williams. Dr. Reed stands as living proof that the PNM education produces PNM leadership, not merely degrees, not merely credentials, leadership, intellect, and national purpose. In him, we see the continuity of Dr. Eric Williams' legacy, not as nostalgia, but as destiny. I, too, can boast of being a product of the People's National Movement. Dr. Williams' belief in education was not symbolic, it was systemic. It translated directly into policy. Expansion of secondary school access, establishment of free secondary education, widening scholarship access beyond traditional elites, state investment in tertiary and vocational training, increasing literacy rates, and building a skilled labor force. As he so powerfully declared, and as I said before, the future of our nation is in our children's school bags. By equipping young people with knowledge, skills, and critical thinking, Dr. Williams ensured that every child, regardless of their background, had the potential to lead, innovate, and serve. This principle remains as true as it was then. Nations rise or fall on the quality of their education, and leadership is forged in classroom before it ever enters the chambers of power. Dr. Williams was not only domestic, he was regional. He foresaw the strategic challenges facing our nation and facing the Caribbean, including external pressures and the need for a zone of peace and stability in our region. We note, of course, that some people today do not understand the value of that. His understanding of geopolitics taught us that education was our primary defense, that intellectual preparedness was as important as military readiness, and that leadership rooted in knowledge ensures national sovereignty and, most important, regional influence. Today, we are not only remembering our history, we are institutionalizing it. I'm proud to announce the launch of the PNM Party School, an educational institute grounded in research, training, and leadership development. This is not a ceremonial undertaking, it is a generational one. The institution will teach philosophy, writings, and leadership principles of Dr. Eric Williams, develop future leaders rooted in scholarship, ethics, and national service, training youth activists, policymakers, campaign workers, community organizers, and future office holders, preserve the intellectual heritage of the People's National Movement through archives, research, and lectures. Because to lead, one must first learn. To govern, one must first understand. And to serve, one must first be formed. A political party that stops learning stops leading. A nation that stops teaching stops progressing. We live in an era where misinformation spreads faster than truth, where charisma is often mistaken for competence, and where leadership is sought very often without preparation, and where history is very often forgotten. If we abandon education, we abandon progress. If we forget Dr. Williams, we forget the blueprint for nation building. If we stop teaching our people how to think critically, we surrender our democracy to manipulation and superficial politics. Today we declare we, the People's National Movement, will not let that happen. People may speak of Dr. Williams as if he were a distant historical relic, but he is far from that. We must teach him in our schools, quote him in our parliament, study his origins, ideology, global context scholarship, and political tactics. His work was not simply part of our national story. It was a foundation upon which all subsequent progress was built. We cannot claim to be the party of Eric Williams if we stop producing thinkers. Education is national protection. A nation that is educated resists corruption, demands accountability, innovates economically, refuses to be bought or fooled. That is why our future policies must focus on strengthening trade and vocational programs, reforming curriculum to meet global standards, expanding STEM, digital, and creative economy education, increasing access to higher learning institutions, strengthening research archives and national memory. Education is not an expenditure. It is an investment in sovereignty. To the young people listening, we are preparing you to lead, not decades from now, but now. This party school exists so you can take your rightful place in shaping national policy, economic recovery, cultural identity, and governance. You are not the future alone, you are the present. We see your potential, we see your talent, we see your courage, and we are committed to walking with you every single step of the way. We will hold your hands through the challenges, we'll have your back when obstacles arrive, and we will provide the resources, the training, the mentorship, and guidance you need to succeed. We will not navigate, you will not navigate this journey alone. From leadership programs to mentorship initiatives, from workshops to practical engagements in community and national service, we will equip you, empower you, and of course, amplify your voice. We will not stop until our young people win. Until you rise as thinkers, innovators, and leaders this nation needs. Until your vision and action transform communities and inspire generations. This is not a promise. This is a commitment of the People's National Movement, of this movement, and of your leaders who believe in your potential. This time is now. Step forward boldly, study hard, act wisely, dream audaciously, and serve selflessly. We are with you, we are behind you, and we will not rest until you achieve the greatness we know that is within you. To our members, the People's National Movement is not just a political organization. It is a school, it is a training ground, and a movement of thinkers and doers. Every member must be a student of our history, a guardian of our philosophy, and a teacher to those who follow. Every constituency office must become a beacon of learning, a place where knowledge meets action, where strategy meets service, and where ideas are transformed into solutions for our communities. Every member of parliament must not only represent, but mentor the next generation of leaders. Every leader must not only lead by scholar, shaping policy with intellect, integrity, and foresight. We must lead as thinkers, serve as visionaries, and govern with discipline, courage, and a moral compass that never wavers. The challenges before us are real, political, social, and economic, but we cannot shirk from them. We must rise, organize, and educate with urgency because the survival and progress of our nation depends on it. Our time is now. Our responsibility is clear. Our mission is vital. We cannot afford to delay, compromise, or be complacent. The party that stops learning stops leading. The movement that stops preparing stops winning. We will act, we will teach, we will train, and we will deliver. This evening, we recommit to the principle that built this movement. Education produces leadership. Leaders who are informed, capable, and unafraid to take responsibility. Leadership produces service. Service that uplifts, transforms, empowers communities. Service produces national transformation. A Trinidad and Tobago where opportunity, justice, and dignity are not privileges but rights. This is who we are. This is who we must remain. And this is how we honor the life and the work and the legacy of Dr. Eric Eustace Williams, not by merely remembering what he was, but by continuing the mission he began with courage, conviction, and commitment. We are at a crossroads. The choices we make today will define the destiny of our party and our nation for generations. We must act decisively, teach relentlessly, and serve tirelessly. There is no time to wait. There is no time for hesitation. Every member, every leader, every young person must rise with purpose, clarity, and discipline. We will not falter. We will not fail. We will lead with intellect. We will serve with passion. And we will ensure that the People's National Movement remains the engine of progress, the guardian of democracy, and the school of leadership, especially political leadership, of Trinidad and Tobago. And so, in reaffirming our mission through the relaunch of the Dr. Eric Institute for Political Education, the People's National Movement returns to its roots. It returns to scholarship, the foundation of leadership, and pathway to service. It returns to nation building through education, empowering every citizen, shaping every leader, and securing the future of Trinidad and Tobago. Education, my friends, is not merely a policy. It is the gateway to equality, opportunity, and national dignity. It is the foundation upon which we build leaders, the engine through which we shape thinkers, and the beacon that guides our nation towards its true potential. Let us build leaders, not just followers. Let us build thinkers, not just voters. Let us build a nation worthy of its founding promise. This is a call to action for every member of our movement, every parent, every teacher, every young person listening today. The future of our nation depends on what we teach, it depends on how we mentor, and the values we instill in the next generation. We must commit ourselves fully to this vision, knowing that the progress, resilience, and prosperity of Trinidad and Tobago are at stake. Education is our heritage. Education is our strategy. Education is our future. Let us rise united in purpose, unwavering in resolve, and fearless in action. Together we will transform our nation, empower our people, and ensure that the legacy of Dr. Eric Eustace Williams and the promise of the People's National Movement lives in every citizen, in every classroom, and in every community. This is our mission. This is our moment. Let us seize it. Thank you, and may God bless Trinidad and Tobago. Great is the People's National Movement.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you very much, our very own political leader.
Trinity to the bone. When they come to Bacchanal, well, they can't beat we at Trinity to the bone. Trinity.
Now we move into a very most exciting segment of this evening, our panel discussion. Guiding this discourse is a dynamic communicator and a respected moderator. Mr. Viyash Nanlal is an economist with over 15 years' experience in fiscal and macroeconomic research. He has served the party in several key capacities, including Vice President of the Heliconia Foundation, Coordinator of Superior Constituency, and member of the Research and Disciplinary and Election Supervisory Committee. He is also a published national commentator and currently serves as an education officer for Couva North and chairman of the party school committee. Through their insights, we will explore the PNM's journey from its genesis to its evolution and future vision. We now hand over to our panelists, our very distinguished Mr. Linus Rogers, Mrs. Diane Dupre, Mr. Sanjeev Budu, and Mrs. Gabrielle James. Now I will be calling on Mr. Viyash Nanlal, who will take us into the communicating aspect of it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Natasha Mohammed, former candidate for the Siparia constituency and a good friend of mine as well, ladies and gentlemen. It is truly a pleasure to be here to moderate this panel discussion as we launch the Dr. Eric Williams Institute for Political Education. I stand on all observed protocols, but let me firstly, before I move forward, at least acknowledge the political leader of the People's National Movement, the Honorable Penelope Beckles Robinson, political leader. Thank you for those very inspiring words, which I think will definitely flow into our panel discussion. I want to also acknowledge Mayor, His Worship the Mayor Robert Paris. Mayor, thank you for welcoming us in the beautiful and very vibrant San Fernando here today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is certainly a pleasure to moderate this esteemed panel as we look forward to generating an interesting and educational discussion at this launch, the Eric Williams Institute for Political Education. It is the hope that this panel discussion would not only be informative, but serve as a teaser for what you could expect from our institute. We have 4 panelists representing the past, the present, and the future, in line with our theme, learning our past, leading our future. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further delay, allow me to introduce our esteemed panel who will engage in this very informative discussion. And firstly, I want to invite to our panel here a very distinguished person, and I was very pleased and surprised to read her bio. She is a distinguished daughter of the PNM, whose life has been interwoven with the history and the evolution of our party. She began her journey at a very young age and also at the heart of our nation's political leadership. She was the executive political secretary to the father of the nation, Dr. Eric Williams. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the executive political secretary to Dr. Williams, where she coordinated major government and party reports, prepared speeches, managed political conferences, and assisted Dr. Williams with manuscripts and publications. So you could only imagine the knowledge and expertise she brings to the table. She continued her service under Prime Minister George Chambers, contributing to his administration's political and government affairs. She holds degrees in human services, psychology, sociology, and from institutions in Baltimore and Maryland. Ladies and gentlemen, she stands as a living archive of PNM history, a champion of social transformation, and a treasured pillar of our national culture and heritage. Please join me, ladies and gentlemen, in welcoming Mrs. Marie Diane Dupre.
Welcome, welcome, one and all to the land of death. Trinity to the bone, Trinity to the bone. When they come to Bacchanal, well, they can't beat we at Trinity to the bone, Trinity to the bone. Look, sweet woman parade abundantly. The brethren, they full of energy. Some people say God is a Trinity. Paradise are not convincingly. God gave us a spirit fiery, but nothing in the world about that we. But look, a smart man gone.
Welcome, Ms. Dupre.
We still come out and mash up the party. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love of this country. Sweet, sweet TNT. No place in this world I'd rather be. Sweet, sweet TNT. Oh, how I love of my country. Sweet, sweet.
Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, our next panelist is an attorney at law, a businessman, and a principal of Budu and Company, with offices in San Fernando, St. Augustine, and Arima. He has served the party and national community in multiple capacities, including former PNM general election candidate for Kumuto Manzalina, treasurer of Malabar Mausika, coordinator of Kumuto Manzalina constituency, and is currently the PNM deputy political leader of policy. He brings to tonight's panel, to this afternoon's panel, a wealth of experience in governance, law, business, and public policy. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Deputy Political Leader of the People's National Movement, Mr. Sanjeev Budu.
Islands in the sun.
Our next panelist, ladies and gentlemen, represents our future. Our next panelist is a final year student and a dynamic young leader within the People's National Movement. She currently serves as the Education Officer of the People's National Movement, an Education Officer of the PNM National Youth League, sorry, my mistake, and Chairman of the ARIMA Youth League. Her political journey began almost from birth, and she has been a proud member of the PNM since she could take her first steps. She credits her grandmother, Mrs. Barbara Ryan, for nurturing her early love for politics, public service, and values of our great party. Today, she represents the next generation of leadership, grounded, articulate, committed, and deeply patriotic. Please welcome our youth panelist, Ms. Gabrielle James.
Islands in the sun. Islands in the fun. Welcome, welcome, one and all to the land of death. Trinity to the bone. Trinity to the bone. When they come to Bacchanal,
Welcome, Gabrielle. And ladies and gentlemen, our final panelist. He is the current secretary of PNM Party Group 8 in the constituency of Pointe-à-Pierre. He comes from a family deeply rooted in the PNM, and his first active participation in an election campaign took place at the tender age of 3 years old at the Pointe-à-Pierre constituency in the village of Gasparillo. He is a registered PNM party member, and over the years, he has been a party group chairman, party group elections officer, constituency group representative, constituency elections officer, general council member, central executive member, PNM party elections officer, and a member of the annual convention planning committee. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, this is an individual with extensive experience within the People's National Movement and the party structure. He is a retired executive from TSTT and also served in many cases in leadership teams, in community groups, and on the national scale and national scope. He is a retired electrical engineer with a deep background in human resources and has a passion for politics, serving the poor, the needy, and the underprivileged. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome our last panelist, Mr. Linus Rogers.
islands in the sun.
And Mr. Rogers opted to sit in the back there, so it will take a while for him to reach the front.
Welcome, welcome, one and all to the land of death. Trinity to the bone, Trinity to the bone. When they come to Bacchanal, well, they can't beat we at Trinity to the bone, Trinity to the bone. Look, sweet woman parade abundantly.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as we begin our discussion, as you can see, we have a wide range of experience and expertise bringing party history, our present, and a look to our future through a youth voice. Our structure today, we would ask each member of the panel to give a presentation or some opening remarks for up to 5 minutes, and then we will go into some questions, which in fact we have already pre-prepared in that we had sent out requests to all 41 constituencies, and they have submitted questions for us to make the floor a little easier. So I have a list of these questions, and I would start off by asking Ms. Dupree, would you lead us off by giving some opening comments? We have a microphone there.
Greetings. I am Deanne Dupree. I am a very assertive person. I am old. I don't have a lot of patience, but I worked with Eric Williams as his private and political secretary from 1961. I know Eric Williams as a boss, and I know him as a family friend, and there are two different things there, because he was two different people. He never let things cross. When he entered Balize House, he was a political leader, and anybody that tried to call him prime minister was quickly put in their way. And I see you all constantly referring to Penelope as the honorable. She is not honorable. She is the political leader. Her politics, a politician is not in this room. And I think that the Education Committee, if they're interested, need a lot of education regarding the PNM, the political party. I worked from 61 to 81, and then to 86 with Chambers. And I look at the people in this room, and I'm not seeing 10-year-olds or 13-year-olds or what, and I wonder where the elders, grandchildren are. If you want to rebuild the People's National Movement, you have to start at 10 years of age, or whatever the common entrance thing is, so that they will understand why they start a common entrance exam and why they are where they are.